Today, every English learner has the same question, not how to study harder, but how to make English a natural, quiet part of every single day. This is English Sleep Podcast. I'm Brittany, and I'll be with you today. Have you ever felt like you want to practice English more, but at the end of the day, you are not sure when or how it happened, or if it happened at all? Today, we follow Clara, and maybe in her story, you will find a little piece of your own. The kitchen is small. It has a window above the sink that faces the street below a narrow street in a medium-sized city where the buses are orange and the morning smell of bread from the bakery 2 buildings away. The window has no curtain. Clara likes it that way. She likes to see the sky while she washes her dishes. Clara is 26. She works at a small travel agency on the second floor of an old building near the Central Park. She books holidays for other people's flights, hotels, day trips, and sometimes, quietly, she looks at the photos of the destinations and thinks, "One day, me too." She's been learning English for 4 years. She studied it at school before that, which means, technically, she has been learning English for much longer. But 4 years ago is when she decided to take it seriously. 4 years ago, she bought a notebook dark green, small enough to fit in her bag, and wrote on the first page, "I will be good at English." It is a Thursday evening. Clara is standing at the kitchen sink, washing 2 cups and a plate. The orange light from the street comes through the window. The bakery is already closed. The street is quiet. She's thinking about English. Specifically, she's thinking about how little English she practiced today. She meant to listen to something on her lunch break. But her lunch break was short. A difficult client called, and then she ate her sandwich standing up near the window of the office. And the lunch break was over. She meant to read something in the evening, before dinner. But she was tired. She sat on the sofa. She watched something on her phone, not in English, something in her own language, because her brain was tired and her own language felt warm and easy. And now it is evening, and she is washing 2 cups and a plate, and the day is almost done. And the English notebook is in her bag, still closed. She feels something, a small, familiar feeling. Not quite guilt, more like a soft disappointment, the feeling of knowing you wanted to do something and the day passed without it. Disappointed. Disappointed means you expected something good, and it did not happen. You feel a little sad because of the distance between what you hoped and what was real. Clara is disappointed not in a dramatic way, just in the quiet, evening way of someone who wanted a little more from their day. She puts the cups upside down on the drying rack. She dries her hands. And then, standing at the sink with the orange light on the window, she has a thought. It is a small thought, almost too small to keep, but she holds it. The thought is, what if I did not need a lunch break? What if I did not need a special study time? What if English could be 5 minutes here and 3 minutes there and 2 minutes while I wash the dishes? She picks up her phone. She opens a podcast app. She presses play on a slow English podcast, this one. Maybe. And she puts the phone on the counter. She washes the last cup. English words come out of the phone, slow and clear, and they fill the kitchen the same way the smell of bread fills the street in the morning. She does not sit down to study. She does not open a notebook. She does not take a grammar test. She just listens while she dries her hands, while she puts the cups away, while the orange light moves on the wall. And something small and real happens. Maybe you know this feeling too, the feeling of trying to find time for something and always losing it to the day. The calendar looks full, the evenings feel short, and the thing you want to practice stays at the bottom of the list, just below everything else. Here is an image. Hold it for a moment. Learning English is like watering a plant. You do not need to pour a whole bucket all at once. In fact, if you pour too much at once and then forget for 2 weeks, the plant suffers. But if you give it a little water, just a little every day, it grows. Slowly, quietly, without drama. The growth is invisible on Tuesday. But on a Sunday, 6 months later, you look at the plant and think, when did this happen? When did it get this big? Clara's 5 minutes at the kitchen sink is water for the plant. It is real. It counts. She goes to bed that night with a small, quiet feeling of having done something, not everything. Not the big, ambitious study session she imagined, but something. And something done every day is more powerful than everything done once a month. Clara is not the only person who has found this. Her older sister, Diana, discovered the same truth 3 years ago, but not in a kitchen. In the most moving, most crowded, most ordinary place in the city. Clara found her answer at the kitchen sink in 5 quiet minutes. But her sister Diana found it somewhere louder and through a mistake that still makes her laugh when she thinks about it. Diana is 30. She is Clara's older sister by 4 years. She works as a nurse at the city hospital, long shifts, busy wards, the particular tiredness that comes from caring for other people all day. She is kind and practical. She keeps her hair short. She drinks her coffee without sugar, which Clara has always found slightly mysterious. 3 years ago, Diana decided to improve her English. Not for travel exactly. For work, the hospital had several international doctors, and Diana sometimes struggled to follow their conversations in meetings. She felt embarrassed at those moments, not stupid. She knew she was not stupid, but left out. Like being in a room where everyone else could hear the music and she could only see people moving to it. She tried to study in the evenings, after her shifts. She bought a thick vocabulary book. She sat at her table. She lasted 4 evenings. On the 5th evening, she fell asleep with the vocabulary book open on her chest and woke up with the word persistent printed faintly on her cheek. Her husband found this very funny. Diana did not. She put the vocabulary book on the shelf. She thought, this approach does not work for me. She started thinking about her day differently. Not, when can I study? But when do I have time that I'm not using? Where are the empty spaces? She found them. They were everywhere. The number 14 bus. Diana takes the number 14 bus to the hospital every morning. It takes 22 minutes from her stop to the hospital entrance. The seats are plastic, a faded orange color, and there are always a mix of people. Students with heavy bags, older women with shopping trolleys, a man who always reads the same newspaper folded in quarters. The windows fog up in winter. The bus smells faintly of something warm and metallic. Diana put English into those 22 minutes. She started listening to English podcasts on the bus. Short ones, slow ones. She did not study them. She did not write notes. She just listened, with her headphones in, watching the city slide past the foggy windows. At first, she understood maybe 50%, then 60%. Then she stopped counting, because she stopped noticing the parts she did not understand. She just followed the voice, the story, the feeling of the words. After 3 months, something shifted. In a meeting at the hospital, one of the international doctors, a tall woman from the Netherlands named Dr. Voss, said something in quick, clear English to the group. Diana understood it completely, without effort, without translating in her head. She felt something rise in her chest, a warm, quiet surprise. She almost said it out loud. I understood that. She did not say it out loud. She just nodded, like everyone else, and wrote something in her notebook. But inside, she was amazed. Absorb. That is the word. To absorb something means to take it in slowly, without trying. The way a towel absorbs water, not because it works hard, but just because it is there, and the water comes. Diana absorbed English on the number 14 bus. She did not force it, she just showed up and let the words come in. One small mistake along the way. One morning, very tired after a night shift, Diana got on the number 14 bus going the wrong direction. She did not notice for 6 stops. By the time she realized she was near the old market, completely the wrong part of the city. She got off, waited for the next bus, arrived at the hospital 12 minutes late. She told her colleague what happened. Her colleague laughed. Diana laughed too, eventually. But she still had her headphones in the whole time. She still listened to English for 40 minutes that morning instead of 22. In a strange way, it was one of her best practice days. Maybe you have had something like this too. A mistake that turned into more than you expected. A wrong turn that gave you extra time, or an empty evening that you used better than a planned one. Mistakes have a way of giving unexpected gifts, if you let them. This is what Diana found English in the empty spaces, in the 22 minutes that were already there. Clara doesn't know the details of her sister's bus habit, but right now, without knowing it, she's finding her own empty spaces, one kitchen sink, one podcast, one quiet evening at a time. And soon she will meet someone who makes her think about it all differently. Not a sister, not a friend from work, a complete stranger, in the aisle of a bookshop on a rainy afternoon. Diana found her empty spaces on the number 14 bus. Clara is finding hers at the kitchen sink. And the same discovery comes to different people through different doors, sometimes through a stranger's offhand comment. In a bookshop, in the rain. It is a Saturday afternoon. The rain started at 2 o'clock and shows no sign of stopping. The streets are wet and gray. Most people have gone inside. Clara is in a small bookshop near the Central Park. She likes this shop. It has wooden floors that creak in a particular way, and it smells of paper and something slightly dusty. And the owner, an older man with very small glasses, never asks if you need help unless you look truly lost. Clara is in the back corner, near the English language section. She is looking at the books on the shelf. There are grammar books, thick and serious. There are vocabulary lists in alphabetical order. There are textbooks with cheerful covers and photographs of people gesturing as if they have just had a great idea. She is not excited by any of them. She takes one off the shelf. She opens it. The first page has an exercise. Fill in the blank with the correct form of the verb. She closes it. She takes another one. This one is about idioms. It has 500 idioms listed with explanations. The first one is a piece of cake. Clara knows this one. She flips to page 40. She does not know most of these. She feels slightly overwhelmed. Overwhelmed means you feel like there is too much, more than you can hold or handle at once. It is like standing in front of a very long menu at a restaurant when you are already hungry, you cannot decide, and so you feel worse, not better. Clara puts the book back. A woman's voice says from nearby, "I never buy those." Clara turns. The woman is standing just behind her, also looking at the English section. She's maybe 45 years old with gray-streaked hair and a canvas bag over one shoulder. She's looking at the shelf the way someone looks at it when they know what they think. Clara says, "The grammar books?" The woman says, "All of them. The ones with lists and exercises and blanks to fill in." She takes a thin book from the shelf, a collection of short stories. Simple English, level A2. She holds it up. "I bought this once. I read it on the train. I learned more English in 1 week than from 3 months with the big books." She puts it back. She picks up a different one. She reads the back cover. She puts it in her canvas bag. She says, without looking at Clara, "The secret is not more study, it is more contact. More time with the language, even 5 minutes, even 10, every day." And then she walks to the front of the shop to pay. Clara stands in the back corner for a moment. The rain hits the window beside her. The wooden floor creaks somewhere in the other section. More contact, more time with the language. She reaches back to the shelf. She takes down the same collection of short stories the woman had. She opens it. The first story is about a man who misses his train. The sentences are short. The words are clear. She understands the first paragraph without looking anything up. Something lifts in her chest. The same plant, the same water, the same quiet, real feeling of, I can do this. Not all of it. Not perfectly. But a little. Today. In this bookshop in the rain. She buys the book. She reads 3 pages on the bus home, with the rain on the window beside her and the words coming easily into her mind. Maybe you know this feeling, too, of being intimidated by the big methods and the long lists, and then finding something small and simple that actually works. Not because it is magic, because it fits into your real life, your real tiredness, your real 5 minutes at the kitchen sink, or your 22 minutes on the bus. The stranger in the bookshop had one sentence for it. More contact. More time with the language. Across the city, in a different kind of space entirely, there is a man who has been living this truth for 2 years, not with books, not with podcasts, but with something even smaller. The bookshop stranger said it in one sentence. The bus gave Diana 22 minutes every day. And somewhere else in the city, a man named Rafael has been learning the same lesson through something even smaller than a sentence, just 6 words, written on a small piece of paper, every single morning. Rafael is 54. He is the owner of a small hardware shop on the corner of Pine Street and 11th Avenue. The shop has been there for 22 years. It is the kind of shop that sells specific things. Screws, nails, paintbrushes, hinges, the kind of small metal pieces whose names you only need to know when something breaks. The shop smells of metal and paint and old wood. The floor is concrete, slightly dusty. The front window has a hand-painted sign that says, Rafael's in red letters. Rafael never studied English formally. He left school at 16. He has lived in this city his whole life. His customers are local. His conversations are in his own language. But 2 years ago, his daughter moved abroad for work to a city where the primary language is English. When they video call now, she switches between languages easily. Her English fast and bright and confident. Rafael watches her talk and feels something he cannot quite name. Not jealousy, exactly. More like a wish that he could follow her more easily into that world. He did not buy a textbook. He did not sign up for a course. He thought, I am 54, I am too busy, I will not become fluent. But maybe I can learn a little. Maybe I can follow her voice more easily. Maybe I can surprise her one day with a sentence or 2. He started with 6 words. Every morning before the shop opened, he sat in the back office, a small room with a metal desk and one window that faces a brick wall, and he wrote 6 English words on a small piece of paper. Not random words. Words he might actually use. Words from the news, from his daughter's messages, from things he heard and wanted to understand. He put the paper on the corner of the counter, while he served customers. While he counted screws and mixed paint and answered questions about hinge sizes, he looked at the paper. He looked at it 20, 30, 40 times a day. By the end of the week, the 6 words were inside him. Not studied. Absorbed. Like Diana's podcasts on the number 14 bus. Like Clara's 5 minutes at the kitchen sink. He made one mistake. One Monday morning, he wrote the word embarrassing on the paper. He was not completely sure of the meaning. He thought it meant something close to difficult or complicated, a common misunderstanding. Later that day, his daughter called. He used the word in a sentence, confidently, in front of his wife. His daughter was quiet for 1 second. Then she explained gently what the word actually meant. His wife laughed for quite a long time. Rafael did too. Later, he wrote the correct meaning on a new piece of paper. He looked at it for 1 week. He never forgot it again. Consistent. That word belongs here. To be consistent means to do something regularly, again and again, over time. Not perfectly, not dramatically, just again and again. Rafael is consistent. 6 words, every Monday, the same small paper, the same corner of the counter, week after week, for 2 years. Now, when his daughter calls, he understands more than he expects. He cannot speak long sentences yet, but he can follow her voice. He can catch the meaning. He can say, "Yes, I understand." And sometimes, when the right word comes to him, one of his 6 words from a paper, 3 weeks ago, he says it. And his daughter smiles the way people smile when they are genuinely surprised and pleased. He does not know that a young woman named Clara is at this same moment sitting on a bus with a book of short stories, reading about a man who missed his train. He does not know about the kitchen sink or the podcast or the bookshop in the rain. But they are all doing the same thing, filling the plant with small, consistent amounts of water, and the plant is growing for all of them. Raphael's small paper, Diana's orange bus, the bookshop stranger's quiet advice, 3 people, 3 small habits, 1 truth. And tonight, Clara is sitting on her bed with a short storybook open in her lap. It is the same Thursday that started at the kitchen sink, or maybe a week has passed, or a month. The room feels the same. The orange light from the street comes through the window, that same light. The city outside is going quiet. Clara's reading, not studying, reading. She is on page 12 of the short story book. The story is about a woman who takes a long train journey to visit her mother. The sentences are simple. The woman looks out the window. She thinks about things. The train moves through fields and small towns. The language is gentle and unhurried. Clara reads slowly. She does not look up every word she does not know. She lets the unknown words float past. The way a person lets a leaf float down a river, she does not need to catch every leaf to understand the river is moving. She turns a page. She realizes something. She has not checked her phone in 40 minutes. She has been reading English for 40 minutes without noticing, without effort, without the feeling of sitting down to study, which she had always found slightly heavy and formal. She just opened the book. She just read. And the 40 minutes arrived and passed the way 40 minutes pass when you are in something that fits you. She thinks about the plant. The image comes back to her, the small plant, the daily water, the invisible growth. She thinks, this is water. This book, these 40 minutes, this Thursday night. Water. She closes the book on her finger to hold the page. She looks at the ceiling for a moment. She thinks about the kitchen sink 3 weeks ago and the podcast playing while she washed the cups. She thinks about the dark green notebook in her bag, the one with "I will be good at English" on the first page. She has not written in it for a long time, but something is happening anyway, without the notebook, without the grammar exercises, without the thick vocabulary book with 500 idioms. Something is growing. She opens the book again. She reads 2 more pages. The woman on the train arrives at her mother's house. The mother opens the door. The woman says, "I am here." The mother says, "I know. Come in." Clara reads those 2 lines twice. They are very simple. 4 words, then 2 words, then 2 words. But they make her feel something, the warmth of arriving somewhere safe, of being expected, of a door opening before you even knock. She closes the book. She sets it on the nightstand next to the small glass of water she always keeps there. Routine. That word matters now. A routine is something you do regularly, in the same way, until it becomes as natural as breathing. Washing your face is a routine, making tea in the morning is a routine, and reading a few pages of English before bed, quietly, without pressure, just for the pleasure and the practice, can become a routine too. Not the kind of routine that feels like a duty, the kind that feels like coming home. Clara turns off the light. Outside, the street is orange and still. A bus passes the last one, maybe, or close to it. Its windows are lit from inside, yellow and warm, moving slowly through the quiet city. She is still. You are still too. Your body is warm. Your hands are resting open. Your breath is slow. Let the English float gently around you, like words from a story you already know, half remembered, half dreamed. You do not need to hold it. Just let it be here. The plant is growing, even in the dark, even now, even while you sleep. There is nowhere else to be. This moment is enough. The stories are done. Clara is asleep. The book is on the nightstand. The plant is still growing. Let's stay together a little longer, very gently. Tonight's stories showed us something important. You do not need a perfect study schedule to improve your English. You do not need 3 hours every Saturday with a thick grammar book. You need contact. You need time with the language, small amounts, regular amounts, woven into the day you already have. Here are 5 small habits to carry with you. Small habit 1. Use one small moment every day for English. The kitchen sink, the bus, the walk to work, the 2 minutes before you sleep. Find one moment, just one that already exists in your day, and fill it with English. Not a big study session, just a small, real moment of contact with the language. You can listen while you cook. You can read while you wait. You can say a few words quietly to yourself on the way to work. For example, tomorrow, choose one daily task you do automatically: washing dishes, making coffee, walking to the bus stop, and add 5 minutes of English to it. Just listen. Just let the words come in. Small habit 2. Read something simple in English every day. Not a textbook, not a grammar exercise. A short story, a simple article, a few sentences about something you find interesting. Something you can read without feeling tired after one page. Reading easy English every day builds fluency faster than studying difficult English once a week. Your brain gets used to the patterns, the rhythms, the way sentences feel in English without you having to work hard for it. You can find free, simple English stories online, or buy a thin storybook like Clara did, level A1 or A2, short sentences, real meaning. For example, tonight or this week, find one short text in English that takes 5 minutes to read. Read it once. If you enjoy it, read it again tomorrow. Small habit 3. Write 3 English words every week and look at them every day. Like Rafael's small paper. Not a long vocabulary list. Just 3 to 6 words, written by hand, placed somewhere you will see them. The key is not the writing. The key is the looking. You look at the words many times without effort, while you do other things, and the words go in, slowly, completely, without being forced. You can put the paper near your kettle, near your bathroom mirror, on the corner of your desk, anywhere your eyes naturally go. For example, this week, write 3 English words you want to learn on a small piece of paper. Put it in a place you will see it 10 or 20 times a day. At the end of the week, see how deeply those words have settled in. Small habit 4. Let yourself not understand everything and keep going anyway. This is the habit that changes the relationship between you and English. The moment you stop expecting to understand 100% and start allowing English to flow past you, some of it familiar, some of it still out of reach, the learning becomes lighter. You do not need to catch every leaf on the river. You just need to watch the river move. Your brain catches more than you know. Understanding grows silently, below the surface, in ways you only notice later. You can practice this by listening to an English podcast without stopping, without rewinding, without looking up words. Just let it flow. Trust the process. Trust the plant. For example, the next time you listen to English and meet a word you do not know, do not stop. Let it go. Keep listening. See what you understand around it. You will be surprised. Small habit 5. Listen to English for 5 minutes before you sleep every night this week. This is the habit that connects everything. Your brain is relaxed at the end of the day. Your body is resting. And in this soft, open state, language comes in more gently and settles more deeply than during a busy afternoon. 5 minutes of slow, clear English, a podcast, a story, a calm voice before you close your eyes. Not to study, just to listen. Just to let the words float in with the last of the day's light. This is what this podcast is here for. Every night, every week, a little water for the plant. For example, tonight, before you close your eyes completely, listen to the word tour section of this episode or start it again from the beginning. Just let the English come. You are already doing it. Let's go through them one more time, slowly. Small habit 1. Use one small moment every day for English. Small habit 2. Read something simple in English every day. Small habit 3. Write 3 English words every week and look at them every day. Small habit 4. Let yourself not understand everything and keep going anyway. Small habit 5. Listen to English for 5 minutes before you sleep every night this week. You do not need all 5 tonight. Even one small step is enough. Now, let's gently review some words from tonight's stories. You can just listen. If you are awake, you can repeat softly. If you are already half asleep, that is perfect too. Just let the words come to you. Disappointed. Disappointed. Disappointed means you expected something good, and it did not happen. You feel a small sadness because things did not go the way you hoped. She felt disappointed that the day passed without any English practice. You can feel disappointed sometimes and still try again tomorrow. If you are still awake, you can say it once. Disappointed. Absorb. Absorb. To absorb something means to take it in slowly, without effort. You absorb something by being near it, again and again, until it becomes part of you. He absorbed new English words by looking at them many times each day. You absorb English when you listen regularly, even for short times. If you are still awake, you can say it once. Absorb.